All right, welcome everybody to the November 6th Ortelius architecture meeting. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So some fun stuff I've been working on. I'll get back to the meeting notes. Close some of these up. So there's a couple new repos out there under the Ortelius. There's this CVE to release tracker, and then an older repo, which is the front end. So the front end was originally in Svelte, and I converted over to a Next.js. And the reason being is just so we get more experience with React to put on the resume. I think this Svelte would have been an easier solution. I don't know, it would have been probably a better solution in the short term, but it wouldn't look as good on the resume. So purely a boost the resume, converted over to React. So if you go to the release tracker repo, I've created a design document. So there's a design markdown. And this is basically the architecture design for the new front end and also the new back end. So the main question that we're kind of posing is, where is it running and how do I fix it? So this document was generated, I think, using mostly ChatGPT, but I think also some cloud AI as well. So pointing to the repository and telling it what I wanted it to do. It turned out to be a really nice document. If you go through here, it has data diagrams about what's going to happen, and the database structure is in place. For some reason, it decided not to render this time. Let me try refreshing. One of the architectural things that came out was using Arango still on the back end and having this is weird. I just was looking at this a little while ago and it rendered fine. Let me go into this. Using Arango, there's a architecture called hub and spoke. So there's another document that dives into that. Let's see if that one will load.
GitHub and Mermaid.
Yeah, it could be my
Yeah.
internet connection is slow here. But look through the hub and spoke architecture because it walks through like the different scenarios and why things are certain ways and why it'll get down into like here when you go to navigate for something, how it happens, how all the data is related together, and also it will go through. These are so weird. It's like GitHub just went south. It shows the flow diagram, and then the AQL is the Rango queries. But as part of that diagram, it'll actually show the number of nodes that were going to be processed if you do it one way versus the other way. So take a browse through these two documents, the design document and the hub and spoke one. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will let you know that they're not 100% up to date with the code base yet. I do have to do another run through and have Claude do an update. But I broke my limit on Claude last week, so I'll get to it this week. Oh, here they come across. So here's like the database diagram. See if it goes up. So it has all the UML like you would normally think with the foreign keys and stuff like that. It turned out pretty slick, being able to look at everything and how it gets processed. And at the end result, what we end up with is, let me find the window. Right now, I'm currently running Arango just locally, just the base Docker image of Arango with a volume mount to my host file system. So that's running there. And then there's the front end and the back end. So the CVE to release tracker is the back end, and also it has a little CLI for loading data in. This is a Go program. So the CLI is going to be in the CLI directory and the CMD directory. Those two are tied together. And then the backend piece is the database, GraphQL model, and the util. Sasha, I did take your suggestion of implementing GraphQL, so that is in place. So we do have
Oh,
the GraphQL mapping and stuff available.
oh, cool, Steve.
Yeah.
Cheapers.
So if we actually, like I said, the CVE tracker is just the Go program. So if I find the right window, it's actually just out here running. I just ran it. It's using Fiber in Go to do to host the endpoint. So there's a couple endpoints. So it actually is a hybrid mix. For things like that are coming from the pipeline, and like Jing's release tracker, that would just be a regular curl command to a REST API endpoint, but the front end uses the GraphQL. The reason why I did that was from the pipeline perspective, it's easier to use like a curl command or just a regular post command of the data to a RESTful API endpoint instead of having to write the GraphQL, which is pretty lengthy and pretty cumbersome to do.
It's ugly. It's
Yeah,
seriously
very
ugly.
ugly. I was surprised how ugly it is. It's crazy.
It's did you see all those braces, man? It's crazy.
Yeah. So the
Oh, it's ugly.
front end is just the node that's running. So and the front end is going to be this page. So I bring it up. So because I'm running everything locally, so I have Arango local. I have the back end, which is running on port 3000. The front end is running on 4000, talking to the back end on 3000. What we end up with is our new UI. So we go and answer our questions. Where is it running? So right now, this is live data. We have 145 critical vulnerabilities in our cluster right now. That's out in GKE. So we do have that. There's 2 releases out there. The last time it was updated was 6 days ago. You can click into these. Let's see if it's going to launch. It may not. I've been changing things, so it's not going to get into the detail page. Then we have the project release, where to fix it. So these are all of our microservices that are out there. And this should click through. The back end's throwing errors, I could see it. I've been messing with it, but this was, once you click on this, it'll dive into the back end details page of it'll give me a list of all it's just compiling it. See what we get here. Yeah. So this is where we need still some work, building out the details page. We have our vulnerabilities, the list of the vulnerabilities that are out there. Things like hyperlinks don't work yet, that type of stuff. But it's a good placeholder for now. If we go back to our search,
Steve,
yep,
your GitHub framework works extremely well, right? Looks great.
yeah, yeah. So this was modeled after. This is all modeled after Docker Hub. So
Oh, Docker Hub. I thought it was GitHub. Sorry, I got them confused.
yeah, so I took Docker Hub and modeled it after that. It looks like
That's
looks like I crashed Arango here for a second. Let's see if it'll recover.
this essentially the new front end for Ortelius, then the
Yep,
new Ortelius.
yep.
Yeah, it's very nice, eh?
And things like the filters, all that, filtering a high, medium, low. Let me kill Arango. See if it'll let me shut it down and restart it. And one of the things I keep on running into is Claude will ignore the hub and spoke architecture. So it will create these queries that just don't work quite right. It like will run through, there's like 350,000 CVEs in the database. So it'll run through those over and over and over. And I have to tell it to go and do things correctly. Let me find that window.
Steve, is that where the GraphQL database comes in that allows you to be more specific about instead of searching that entire load, right?
Yeah,
It allows you just to pinpoint what you need, right?
exactly.
Make it should be faster, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a navigation. So if you look at that hub and spoke diagram, you'll see how it navigates using the hub, which is the plural, a Perl. The Perl is the hub, and everything's tied through that. So you can create these relationships. So if a CVE has a Perl, SBOM has a Perl, so you can make these relationships all the way through the process through that hub. Let me try reloading it. See if it's going to go. So while that's loading, the mitigations, because the CVE data has how to fix it, what was the release that fixes it. We have that view of how to fix it. Basically, for this CVE, we got to bump to this package version at that level. And then the vulnerabilities view is from the opposite side. I have this vulnerability, where's it running? So here's the mitigations view. I can click on it, and this hasn't been implemented yet, but this is kind of the thought process. We're going to auto remediate that vulnerability across all the releases and the endpoints. Or we're just going to go and create a Jira issue to deal with this, or GitHub or GitLab issues. So we'll need to. This is where we'll keep building out more integrations. Let's see what else is there. If we go back to releases, the filtering works. Things that still need to be done. Right now, all the pagination is being done on the client side. So if you want to go to page 2, it's just the client side. The filtering and the pagination needs to move to the database side because we'll have hundreds of thousands of things in the database. The database is going to get pretty big with the relationships. So that's one of the things to do on the to-do list is move a lot of the filtering and then pagination to the back end on that front. Or if you want to look at an OpenSF scorecard, we have a bunch of that are running at 7.1. Let's see who are the bad guys. We have one at 5.6 out there. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. And the framework seems to be pulling together pretty well on this level. Like I said, there's the 3 components, the database side, the tracker side, which is the back end that talks to the database, and then the front end, which is the Node.js. Now there's other programs that I'm working on, and we're hooking together with some of the work that Jing's done, is the release tracking and the deployment when something's deployed to a cluster. So I did create a program that will look at the GKE logs of Kubernetes to capture when a deployment has happened. So I can go out and say, on the cluster side, this deployment's happened to this cluster, and we get the image name and tag and stuff like that back so we can record the deployment. That's where we'll need a lot of work. I did go kind of the platform engineering route on that instead of trying to do the bot cube. So we actually deploy on Google it's called a cloud function, AWS would be a Lambda, through Terraform. I just picked Terraform as a starting point. I don't, Sasha, would OpenTofu be better than Terraform, or what's happening in the platform engineering world these days?
I don't know. I have to be honest, I don't know the question to that. It depends if you like being locked into IBM or not.
Right, right. Or
Yeah,
we may end up doing multiple, even like TerraGrunt. We may end up doing multiple platform engineering deployment solutions of
yeah.
those cloud functions and Lambdas. What it looks like we'll need is that cloud function or the Lambda as the intermediary to go read the Kubernetes logs. In GKE, I think it's Stackdriver. In AWS is what, CloudWatch
Mm.
logs. So we'll need different implementations of those Lambdas that will take the data, reformat it, and then shove it over to the Ortelius endpoint. That will come into play with not only Kubernetes clusters, but if you're doing let's say you're doing a Lambda deployment itself, we can actually track that a Lambda was deployed. And there's different event hooks on the cloud side that we look for to say that this Lambda from this Git repo or this container image is running, and we want to grab that information to say that this was deployed to this region, for example, and Ortelius can track that deployment. I did call the deployments synced. A lot of the GitOps stuff goes into synced endpoints. And that would happen as well. Instead of us having to hook into Argo and Flux and all those deployment tools, looking at the audit log allows us to be pretty generic. So we're like separating ourselves from the deployment piece and just listening for what actually happened as an end result of the deployment. So I call them synced endpoints at this level. So that's kind of where we're at. Things to do. We need to hook in what Jing's done on the Watchtower side with our CLI to go ahead and record that a release has happened. Do that piece. Then we need to keep on building out the cloud, the deployment side, going through and watching when a deployment happened, taking that information and loading it into the database on that side. So it's pulling together pretty well. The one question I have was, we initially talked about having a dashboard, and I don't know if how we should pursue that. If we need a dashboard to kind of do like the widget thing with, there's kind of like a trend analysis that, your project releases, you've gone in the last week, you've created, instead of solving CVEs, critical CVEs, now you went from 39 to 500 CVEs, that kind of those trend graphs. We can kind of do that kind of dashboard. We can do dashboards on the the number of dependencies, the scorecard, number of releases. What do you guys think about kind of the landing page for all of this? Should we go that widget route with all the neat little graphs and stuff like that, or should we just dump them into the raw data? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Anybody? You guys are quiet today.
I don't. I'm not a design guy, so I always look at stuff and like, is this graph actionable? Does it help me take action, or is it just like look like a decoration on a Christmas tree?
And that's why I'm posing the question. Do we want,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
you
I'm
know,
like, does this graph just make me look clever, or is it actually calling me to do something?
right, right. We could build because a lot of the tools do that. They
Yeah, yeah,
do
it looks
this.
pretty. CEOs love it, CTOs love it, because it
Yeah,
just looks so pretty. Ooh, it must be a good tool. It's so colorful. All that
yeah.
pizza pie charts.
We could do a lot of red and green, always being Christmas.
I can tell you, I had somebody, I actually more than one, who I wasn't able to show. Like they're like, okay, you can't show red. You can show orange, but red just comes across as being,
Gray.
yeah. So just FYI, just I
Well,
literally had to change a lot because of having red, having
we
gone
would
with red.
we would do the word tagging as well for those who are colorblind. I get that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but just in general, the whole graph thing and the trends thing, is that a good landing page or going right into uh, these are your endpoints that are running critical vulnerabilities? Is that getting them right to the data better than a summary page, in other words?
So
I guess Steve, depends kind of who do you want to be your audience for the landing page, right?
Don't know. That's the tricky part.
so
It could be
to Jean,
developers, it could be a CISO
mm.
type of role. More than more than likely, it'll be probably platform engineers that implement it. It's hard to tell.
To Jing's point, I will say that she's absolutely 100% right there. And Steve, so this was my main job, right? Was creating socks and these dashboards. And trust me, I, I did this a lot. And I will say, to Jing's point, yes, but also the simplicity at the end of the day seemed to be what everyone across the board, from an OT engineer, operational technology person in the field at a substation, all the way up to C-level suite. At the end of the day, the simpler, the better. I think when you're talking to platform engineers, like we look at stuff and like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And, but when you're talking to people who actually have to use the dashboards to correct things, which usually are not us, the simpler, the better. Does that help?
Yeah, and I wonder if we should make it configurable so they can pick what they want their landing page to be.
As long as it's easy, because I had literally one CISO swear at me up and down, and he like practically threw me out of his office. He said, you guys make everything configurable. I want an Amazon cart, you know? So
Yeah, configurable sometimes can make it challenging because Steve, if ultimately it's going to be the technical guys using it, I guess most of them haven't done design. right? You're gonna give them configurable. They will be love to have the toy, but that it can make it very difficult. Because what my 2 cents coming is, I agree with Kate, something simple, but you need to have I guess it's multi-layer. Because as technical guys, yes, they want all the detail like Sasha shared, but ultimately it's your boss going to pay you your money. So you want to show your dashboard to your boss how well your team has done in terms of this side of the governance. So I
Yeah.
kind of thinking you need to have a different level of detail, allow people to say, hey, this is what I want my boss to say, but they're all linked together. This is my team's going to focus on. But at the same time, you want to get your boss endorse your work, right? So I guess it's something simple start with, but then you can allow the team have a different viewpoint. Probably, yeah.
Now, would if we just start out simple and do a trend dashboard, how is my team trending for fixing these things? Be a good starting point. Saying, my team is now, in the last week we had 50 CVEs. Now we got this week 30 CVEs, and we're trending to zero. Is our goal. If that would be a good way to kind of gauge how people are doing based on trends at the dashboard level.
That would be good for the team, right? To track it at the, to see the trend. But at a C level or as they actually look at their entire organization, they don't care anything detail, right? So they want to see, here is my department. This is all the stuff under me. Then how does it go? That's all they care. Anything red, they're going to just say, your team go sort it out, right?
Right.
So that's why you have to have orange instead of red.
Yeah. So you need to have something show them, look, it looks appealing for them. That means they know you are doing good job, right? That's kind of key. They're paying for you.
Yeah, yeah. Because that trend would show that the reason why I think of a trend is a trend kind of shows that you're doing better or you're doing worse. I don't know if that's uh, a good way to grade people, is based on trend, or if I don't know what the other data point would be, how we could kind of do that. I guess you could say, where do I stand right now? This is the way this is the way the team looks right now, and not show them whether they're getting better or worse. I guess that would be the other view of the data. I hate doing dashboards.
Such
There,
a science.
Yeah,
Very subjective, I have to say, though, because everything is different, though.
and we really actually hired an artist to help us.
Yeah, you do.
Because, for us tech people, I mean, give us green screens,
yeah.
So I unfortunately have to drop at noon, at my time, noon. Sorry about this. I'm
No
happy
problem.
to talk more about this.
Yeah,
Or,
think about it. Think about it,
okay.
and we'll circle back around on that front. I gotta drop as well. I have to go to another meeting here out in Denver. So, but think about what now that you've kind of seen what it looks like, how we may be able to hook a dashboard in. I am going to be working on getting this deployed out to our GKE environment. So we have live data and stuff like that. Probably won't happen until not this week or next week, probably the week after, because I'm up here in Denver for an accelerator program. So once we start tying things together and start pumping real data into it, it should get interesting when we get to see how the data. I think the data will help us drive what the dashboard is going to look like. Any other?
Maybe it will be useful to do a couple of persona. I don't know, because you need to see who will be our user. Probably get them listed out. Then we can wait to see which one more important. Will
Yeah.
that gonna work?
Yeah, exactly. And there may be some other data that we need to collect that we're not currently collecting that would be useful to, like a developer or platform engineer or a C-level. I don't think a C-level is going to be looking at this. I think it'll be more like at a director of a project team or, a group. They got a couple development teams underneath them. I think it's going to be at that level, and not necessarily all the way up to the CIO or the CISO. I think we can create reports for those folks, but I don't think we need to give them a dashboard at that high level. Sometimes they just like to look at a PDF that's in their email versus logging into something.
Yeah, that's true.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, everybody. Think about it. I will keep plugging away on this, and we'll start hooking the pieces together. Get a live version out there that you can start playing with, and we can start tweaking the layout and stuff.
Looks good, Steve. Nice one.
Yeah, I did. By the way, I did almost 100% was through. I didn't hardly ever write any code. It's all prompted. So
Always. I did the same now with K6 load testing tool, JavaScript.
yeah, it's just one of those things that I'll go in because I can read the code really quick, and I can say go fix this function because you've done something stupid in it. So I'll get it to I'll knock it around a little bit to make it do the right things, but like I said, almost 100% of the code was written by AI, which was pretty interesting. It's a new experience.
Yeah, it must be cheap.
It's a lot faster than me typing it, put it that way.
That's for sure.
So, all right, thanks everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
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 Bye everyone. Thanks.